I hope you're very well. Why am I stood in the middle of a road with a field full of sheep behind me? Well, this is many people's idea of an idyllic rural heaven. Now, I don't know where you would choose to live if you had the choice of living anywhere in the world, but this is pretty close to my idea of heaven. So the fastest way to put yourself in a position where you can live wherever you want, spend the time that you've got with whoever you want, doing whatever you want, is commercial property. That is the fastest way. What I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video is what I call the stairway to heaven, the 3 steps that take you to commercial heaven. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you haven't jumped in on video number 3, because this is actually now, it was going to be a series of 3 videos, it's now going to be a series of 4 videos. So this is video number 3. So I'd really encourage you to go back and watch number 1, where I'm talking about a live project, and go and watch number 2. So it's going to make a lot more sense to you if you see them in order. So I'm going to assume you've seen video number 1 and video number 2, and so I'm going to take all that information that I've already given you, video number 1. So I've talked about how valuations work, I've talked about commercial incomes, I've talked about the top reasons why commercial property trumps residential property. So I've already done all that. So if you don't know what an FRI lease is, if you don't know what a yield calculation is, you need to go back and do it. It's not hard, but everything is simple once you understand it, yeah? So I'm going to quote Einstein at you. Einstein said, "Any fool can know, the trick is to understand." And he went on to say, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Okay, so what are the 3 steps to commercial heaven? Well, you've got to be able to find the properties, obviously. So where can you find commercial properties? Now here's where the first little minor challenge might start, because most commercial properties are not on the market. So you can do the straightforward Rightmove thing. So Rightmove has commercial property, so you can do that. And in fact, that's how we found the property in video 1 of this series in Gaul. Gordy just found it on Rightmove. You can also go to auctions. There's many other different ways, but my favourite way, and you probably want to make a note of this, is find yourself a good commercial surveyor. If you don't know how to find a commercial surveyor, if you don't have a commercial surveyor, then what I'd strongly recommend is that you go to some local commercial solicitors, ask 2 or 3 of them for a recommendation for a commercial surveyor, and when the same name comes up, so this is a commercial surveyor, so it's like a residential surveyor, but residential surveyors will mainly value properties. Commercial surveyors, yes, they value properties, they also sell properties. They'll also negotiate on your behalf for properties. They'll also find you tenants. So finding a really good commercial surveyor is, worth its weight in commercial property gold. So that's number 1. Number 2, and this is very different from buy-to-lets or other residential property investing. Number 2, you've got to fill them, because empty commercial property is almost worthless. So I don't want you buying, especially when you're more advanced, or you've got some spare money, or when you know what you're doing, absolutely no problem. But until you know what you're doing, don't go and buy empty commercial properties. It's fine to find them empty, but step number 2 is to fill it with a tenant before you buy it. Because unlike commercial properties, you've seen in the previous videos, the property itself is worthless. Well, it's not. It will be valued at alternative use value. So knock it down, start again, turn it into flats, whatever. It's a fraction of its value compared to when it's full with a tenant. Because unlike residential, it's not the bricks and mortar that gets valued, it's the lease, it's the bit of paper. So step number 2 with commercial property is to fill it. So when you fill it, you need to fill it with a third-party business, but you could fill it with your own business. Do you need an office for yourself? Have you already got some commercial premises that you're renting off a landlord? So could you be your own tenant? And in a more advanced situation, let's say you're like us, you're service accommodation operators as well, you could use the property potentially as service accommodation so you can create your own tenancies. And you really, really, really want to make sure you fill it before you buy it. Because as long as you fill it before you buy it, what you can now do is you can use the value in the lease to get lending against the property. And the full property is worth, many times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, could be even more times more valuable than an empty one. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, you now fund it. Because you take that commercial lease, you take it to the bank, and you can literally buy properties with bits of paper called leases. So those are my 3 steps. Find it, and I've given you some ways to find it. Fill it, and I've given you some ways to fill it. You could fill it yourself, you could use a commercial surveyor, you could go the whole hog. You could put a brand in there, and I can share with you in detail how to put brands in there. The third thing you then do is fund it. Now, if you take that example and you put it together for a buy-to-let, it's completely different, because yes, your step 1 would still be to find it, but step 2 is to fund it. You would go and borrow against the bricks and mortar value, and only when you'd bought it could you then fill it with a tenant. So it's the same 3 steps, but in a different order, which is really, really important to bear in mind. Now, here's the really exciting bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut to a number of our students that have done our commercial portfolio building course, and we're also going to give you some footage of some people that are actually on a commercial portfolio building course. So you've got a mixture of people that have decided to invest themselves and do the course, and then the slightly more experienced one that have done the course and then they've gone on to take some action. So they're going to be sharing with you their projects. They're going to be sharing with you where they found their properties. They're going to be sharing with you the kind of money they've paid for those properties, and more importantly, what the annual income or the lease is. So I'm going to cut now, and you're going to start talking to our wonderful students.
Hi, I'm George.
I'm Sarah. We've been working with Touchstone since June. We've done the commercial portfolio builder course. George has done the commercial conversion course and the service accommodation course. And we're trying to work on commercial, so we're doing a deal at the moment, which we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and we're so glad we went on the course, because we're already buy-to-let landlords, and we've been landlords for a number of years. But everything about commercial is completely topsy-turvy. So
yeah, it's really different.
So glad we did the course, because we could never have done it on our own. And we're buying a commercial property at the moment. We're in just very early stages of a commercial property with two tenants in it, paying a very good amount of rent, 10% return a year. We're very excited by that, and it'll be pretty hands-off. Once you've bought it, you can just sit back and receive the cash. So we're really pleased with that.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Morning everyone, how you doing? It's Chris here, and Sen on my left.
Hi, I'm Sen, and we're going to just talk briefly about a commercial property we bought just about a year ago. So to give a quick bit of introduction to it, we were building a rent-to-rent service accommodation business, wanted to purchase property and wanted to purchase commercial property. So we had briefed our virtual assistant on how to source guest houses that were for sale. So having run through the process with her, she successfully identified a property that was for sale that wasn't immediately obvious on Rightmove because it was being sold through an independent commercial broker, sent us the brochure details. We saw it looked like a great opportunity just based on the pure bricks and mortar price of it. To give you some context of it, we operate just outside of Edinburgh, and we had looked at doing a rent-to-rent deal to maybe transition into purchasing a guest house that was about 5 bedrooms just outside Edinburgh, worth upwards of 550k.
Yeah.
So that's really expensive bricks and mortar. This property that our virtual assistant found, 5-bedroom guest house with 11 beds in it, on the market for offers over 185.
185. I think it was offers over 190.
Offers over 190. Yeah. So it looked like it was pretty turnkey. We went to go and visit the property. The owner, who'd been running it as a semi-bed and breakfast, but she wasn't live-in. She was just tired of running the property. But we could see all it needed was gut out the old furniture, put in nice new stuff, and we could start operating it as service accommodation. Just to point out, in Scotland, we have use class 7, which is the commercial use class for guest houses, boarding houses, hotels. This is the use class it's been since 2007. but it was a house that was converted into this. Do you want to talk a bit about numbers?
Yeah, okay, so as we touched on there, so we managed to get the place for 185 after a bit of negotiation down from 190. This one wasn't one that needed a lot of conversions as such. We bought this because we saw an opportunity to get it operating really quickly. So we bought at 185. We got it set up, and I think we took our first guess maybe a couple of weeks after getting the keys. So it's very quick to get operating. Give you some context on the numbers over a 12-month period. So from July to July, we operated, I think it was 311 nights?
318?
318 nights?
Out of 365 from the July to July period.
That's it. So yeah, 87% occupancy over the course of a year. Generally longer term bookings, so keep all our general monthly overheads down. The numbers on that worked out at 73,000 turnover for the year gross, which equates to about 3,000 a month net profit. So that's worked out really well for us, that one. Again, it's one that we haven't had to put too much investment into other than getting it fitted out and set up. So it's worked quite well.
And the way we financed that one, for those who are interested, was with none of our own money. We bought it with joint venture finance for the deposit, and the rest of the finance was made up with bridging loan, very expensive at 15%, but our cash flow was such that we could service that. Within the year, we refinanced using the commercial lender, a new bank in the market, Redwood. They gave us 70% loan to value on the bricks and mortar, so valued up this year at 200k, 70% loan to value, and we've left a smaller amount of JV finance in that we service at an interest that they're happy with. There's still none of our own money left in, and we're cash flowing the property really effectively, serving contractors in our area. So that's the strategy that we're using. And now Chris and I are actually looking for shops and uppers, the strategy that Paul advocates and teaches, where we can develop both, we'll have a diversified income of shops plus service accommodation up top. So that's what we're really excited about moving into now.
Yeah, getting the benefit of long-term tenants on the ground floor in the commercial, and then having serviced accommodation units specifically above.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Lee Horey, and I attended Paul Smith's commercial portfolio building course earlier this year. Fantastic course, fantastic people, fantastic content, packed to the rafters with nuggets in terms of how you can use commercial property to build your own portfolio, and indeed to invest in sort of legacy investing for your family through the use of SIPs and SASs, which are personal pensions, and that is indeed my plan. Commercial portfolio building course is perfect for people that are wanting to invest in all types of commercial properties, all types of use classes, to add value and to grow their wealth pot, and to leave a lasting legacy for their families. My intention is to use my SAS, which is currently going through at the moment, to invest in, first of all, small type commercial deals where I can add value and sort of re-engineer flats and apartments, or make even better use of the space for local communities.
Hi, my name is Bhavin Thakur. I come to this commercial property building course in a sunny day of Glasgow City at Paul Smith's house. I'm an experienced property investor where I've got a few buy-to-lets and all, but coming to this course has opened my eye regarding the commercial properties and all. The knowledge Paul and Aniko has shared is amazing, and it will take us to the next level. And today was a deal sourcing session where we are actually checking and analyzing the deals, which is fantastic. And we are more and more confident about it now to go into this commercial journey in future.
Hi everyone, my name is Manesh. I'm currently on the second day of the commercial portfolio course with Paul. I'm finding it very, very interesting. A whole lot of information with regards to no money down aspects of buying commercial property. I myself have had a recent experience where using what I've learnt from Paul, I've managed to save in the region of £400,000 from capital allowances for my business, which I'm very, very happy about. And I would strongly recommend the course. for beginners and for people who have already got commercial property, just because there's lots of ins and outs which can save a lot of money from a tax perspective and generally enjoy commercial property without having any hassles of going to banks to get money.
My name is Ebo Kimbini. I accidentally got into property business and I didn't know what to do much about it until I came on this course. Having gone through this course, I've learned that actually you can make it a hobby and enjoy it. I enjoyed analyzing how to build on commercial properties, and this course has really changed my view about property business, and I will go back and implement all these things that I've learned. One of the things that stood out was Paul was really amazing in explaining from the very basics of commercial portfolio, and he's just lifted me from where I was to another level, and I'm really looking forward to implementing these things. And to anyone who wants to come on this course, I say don't just struggle and be on your own. Come on this course, learn and change your life.
So I hope you enjoyed spending time with our wonderful students and our graduates. The next video, the last video of this series, I'm going to be pulling it all together and I'm going to give you a very special invitation. So look out for video number 4 in this 3 video series. So we screwed that one up, didn't we? But it's all good. It's all good. It's just the feedback and the reviews. I knew I wasn't going to get it all into 3 videos. So that's why we've done 4. So in the last video of the series, I'm going to be pulling it all together. I'm going to be sharing with you the next steps. And I'm going to be giving you a very, very special invitation. So if you've liked what you've seen in this video series, please literally like it, as in Facebook like it, and please share. If you found this to be of value, could I please ask that you share this video with 2 people? Don't carpet bomb your entire contact list. Think about who are the 2 people in your life that would most benefit from massive income from commercial property, paying virtually 0 tax because of capital allowances that I'll go into in the final video of the series, and also the lack of stress, the ability to spend time in places like this, doing what you want, with who you want, whenever you want. And I can't put it any more simpler than that. So thank you for watching. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you next time. Bye-bye.